Well, hello, beautiful. The beast that is our mind. Because our mind is a beast. So, I know a lot of these lessons seem, maybe not as magical as you would expect from me, but I gotta give you a good groundwork before we get into the more interesting stuff. Because I can't open you up to the world of magic without giving you ways to protect yourself and know what's going on. This is something that I found lacking in my journey quite a bit. Let's just take a sec to be grateful for such beauty nature gifts us with. Oh, so we're talking about the beast that is our mind, and you'll remember, and I think it was 2.5, I mentioned how you're going to notice your mind start getting in the way of your feelings because it wants to stay in control. Your ego exists in your mind, and it's a very, very naughty, annoying, powerful force that we have to face in our life. That's something you can look up on your own. I'm not going to go into ego. I'm normally going to leave the simple stuff that I can passed off to other people who've done great jobs explaining it, because if you're following your heart's compass, it will lead you to exactly the right person who's supposed to tell you what you got to do. All right, one sec. We gotta put my water in my backpack. As I was saying, it's important that we take control of our mind because it is one of the most useful tools that we have, and also a pretty big tool. So, I personally found that just through the process of asking myself about my feelings and taking my awareness out of my mind, that it lost a good deal of control over what I'm doing, who I am, and just a lot of my identity. And you'll notice as your mind starts to become less and less your identity, it'll go through a phase of just trying to make you doubt everything about your new path because it's not in your pre-programmed patterns that you exist within. And it's really, really important that you stay firm. Don't give in and don't let it defeat you because your mind isn't who you are. It wants to be. Society has told us that it is, and it loves that. But it's not. And eventually you'll notice it just kind of falls into the background one day. And then it's really important that you start giving it jobs. Because if you don't keep your mind busy, it's going to start to revolt again and start casting doubt in the most sneakiest ways. Sometimes, like it happens to me even still, I'm just starting to bounce back from getting too far into my mind and letting doubt take hold and destroy my emotional grasp of myself, because as I filled with doubt and as I filled with pain, I start to notice that my ability to be present and aware of my feelings is hindered. Because as your brain takes more and more control and causes all of these feelings, and we become more and more set into these negative feelings and full of doubt, it becomes harder and harder to take hold of your true self. I keep my mind in check is when I'm out doing walks, for instance, my brain's job is to look for footprints, to just observe and let me know if there's anything interesting. Really, if you're in base reality and you're focused on taking control of your mind and turning it into what it is, a really, really useful tool for you to utilize, then you're going to notice as you're observing that your brain is getting in the way. And the more it gets in the way, the harder it is to exist as yourself. The further it pulls you into doubts and uncertainties and all this crap. In nature, as animals, would really be our brain's job. Our brain's job would be to know what environments we find, what food, to watch out for predators. But a lot of these instincts are working against us now. We've also gained an impressive grasp of our consciousness. So we do have the ability to be aware of these things and try and rectify them. And I know you're probably wondering, Fluid Druid, why is my mind so important to magic? What do my thoughts have to do with it? Well, they control your manifestations and really shape the world that you live in. So it's something that you want to have control over. And on the term of how it protects you from some of the darker stuff you might encounter in the magical world, sometimes when you encounter dark spirits, they send interesting little thoughts and feelings into your being, into your field, especially if they're powerful or if you're weak. And you're gonna notice that if you're in tune with your feelings, your thoughts, and your awareness, then you're gonna immediately notice when a thought isn't a piece of you. Going into some of these deeper, more complex places without a good grasp of your base self and the base reality you live in, it's really easy for you to be shook and taken advantage of. And I don't want that. I want to introduce you guys to the beautiful world of magic and allow you to enjoy it in a safe way. Because it was only the moments when I felt unsafe and unprepared that I really strayed away and found myself lost, not on the path. And the path is just, I don't know, walking your true life's purpose. And it's something that just feels amazing. When you're in it and you feel that feeling of the future coming, it's rejuvenating, it's encouraging, it's everything good. But we gotta watch that mind, because the mind will get in the way. Like even just today on my swim, everything was frozen over. And my mind, it loved that. It was immediately just like, go home. That's too hard. The ice is really thick. The ice cuts your legs when you go through it, yada, yada, yada. And I was just like, you know what? No. And I went up to the big waterfall. It was like frozen. So I hiked down to the little one, and it was slushy because the sun had hit it. And so I went for my swim. If I hadn't been aware that I'm not my mind, I probably wouldn't have gotten in that water. My brain would have steered me off my path of my truest self, greatest happiness. I love sunny days. So it's really important for magic that we do have control over our brain and we are aware of what thoughts are ours and are connected to us. Because later down the road, when we're creating insane magical items, we don't want negative energy and negative thoughts stored in these objects or coming into the field of these trials, I'll call them. And when I say trials, what I mean is tests of our spirit. We're going to be led by our heart's compass into situations where our courage and our dedication is tested. And in these moments, if you don't have a good control over your mind and your feelings, you're going to find it really, really difficult to follow through and achieve that goal. And it's okay if you don't make it on your first try. You can do it again. You can come back to it when you feel it's time. And you know what? You're going to be coming back with wisdom. Practice giving your mind a job and not allowing it to take control. And stay beautiful.